Ravens fan Kyle Van Noy's situation could change everything for next season. After a spectacular campaign, leading the defense in sacks and being a key player, the veteran is now facing a decision that could shake Baltimore. He can still play at a high level, but will he continue? Do the Ravens want to keep him? Or is this the end of his journey in the NFL? There are many details behind this uncertainty, and the impact of this choice could be huge for the team. Stay until the end to understand everything happening and how it could affect the Ravens. Go Ravens! Kyle Van Noy arrived at the Ravens with little fanfare, but as soon as he stepped onto the field, he proved he still had a lot to offer. With 12.5 sacks this season, not only did he lead the team in that category, but he also finished with the fourth highest mark in the NFL. This came from a player who, before signing with Baltimore, spent months without a contract, as if teams had forgotten what he was capable of. But he didn't forget. On the contrary, he played as if he had something to prove with every snap, destroying offensive lines and becoming an essential piece for one of the most dominant defenses in the league. But Van Noy wasn't just shining because of his statistic. He brought something that doesn't show up in the numbers: experience, a winning mentality, and a presence that changed the locker room. With 2 Super Bowl titles on his resume and years of playing at a high level, he knows exactly what it takes to win, and that mentality spread throughout the team. Younger players had him as a reference, someone who showed through actions how to prepare and approach each game like it was a final. This combination of talent and leadership made him one of the most important players on the Ravens defense in 2023. His impact was so great that it's hard to imagine how the season would have gone without him. Baltimore already had a strong group, but Van Noy's arrival took the pass rush to another level. In 2 seasons with the team, he's accumulated 21.5 sacks. Proving production is still high, even approaching 35 years old. Few expected him to make this kind of impact, but he turned doubt into admiration. Now, after a brilliant season, one question remains: will he come back for another year, or will he decide to retire at the peak of his career? The answer to that question is still unclear, as Van Noy himself isn't sure what he wants to do. He's spoken about it and left open the possibility of retirement, which makes sense for a player with a successful career like his. Kyle Van Noy has a tough choice ahead. After a brilliant season, where he led the Ravens in sacks and showed he can still play at a very high level, he now needs to decide whether to stay on the field or retire. He admitted he hasn't made a decision yet, saying he wants to play, but there are important details to work out. It's not just about his desire to keep playing. There are many factors involved, from his physical condition to the impact continuing to play will have on his personal life. At 34, soon to be 35, he has already achieved almost everything a player could dream of: 2 Super Bowl titles, being a key player on great defenses, and this past season, finally earning his first Pro Bowl selection. Even as an alternate, he's already proven he can play at a high level. But the question now is whether he wants to keep pushing himself physically for another year of battles on a line of scrimmage. Football takes a toll on the body, and few players continue playing at a high level at his age. The financial aspect also comes into play. Van Noy has 1 year left on his contract with the Ravens, with a $6.1 million cap hit. If he decides to keep playing, he could be a valuable piece for Baltimore, possibly even receiving an extension to adjust the numbers and help the team with financial planning. But ultimately, the decision goes beyond money. What truly matters here is his desire to continue, and what makes the most sense for him and his family. While the Ravens wait for his response, another question arises. If Van Noy decides to continue, will the team be willing to keep him, or will they seek alternatives to strengthen the defense? If Van Noy chooses to continue playing, the Ravens will have to decide what to do with him. His contract still has 1 year left, but a player of his importance can't be treated like just another piece on the roster. Given the impact he's had on the defense, both in terms of on-field production and leadership, the team may choose to offer him a new deal, ensuring a stay for a longer period while adjusting his salary to benefit both sides. His performance this past season justifies this discussion, and it wouldn't be surprising to see Baltimore move quickly to resolve the situation. A contract extension could help the Ravens alleviate the cap hit, ensuring the team remains competitive and has room to strengthen other areas. However, there's always a risk of committing money to a player who, despite still playing at a high level, is in a stage of his career where a decline could happen quickly. The Ravens will need to evaluate whether it's worth betting on 1 or 2 more years of Van Noy, or if it would be better to invest in younger players to take over that role in the future. On the other hand, keeping Van Noy would also mean maintaining the stability of one of the league's best defenses. The Ravens' pass rush worked very well with him on the field, and losing a player of his caliber could create a tough hole to fill. Additionally, his presence in the locker room is a factor that can't be overlooked. For a team aiming for the Super Bowl, having experienced veterans makes all the difference, and Van Noy has already shown he can be that guy in crucial moments. If the Ravens decide to go another route and don't offer an extension, then another possibility arises. Would Van Noy consider playing for another team, or would retirement become his only option? Well, we're past the halfway point of the video, but before we continue, I notice you haven't hit that like button yet. It's really important for YouTube to keep recommending my content to you, so go ahead and leave a like. It's free. Thanks. Now let's continue. If Baltimore decides not to renew and Van Noy wants to keep playing, he could face a new challenge, finding another team interested in his services. Based on what he showed this season, it's hard to imagine he would lack options, as any team needing an experienced pass rusher might try to sign him. But would he have the motivation to start over in a new place, learning a new system, and adapting to a different environment? Or would that speed up his decision to retire? Van Noy has already shown signs that he doesn't intend to keep playing just for any offer. He wants to be in a situation where he can compete and, if possible, chase another title. After so many years in the league, he knows time is against him, and his priority should be a team ready to win. If it's not with the Ravens, he would need to find another franchise with Super Bowl aspirations that also sees value in his talent and experience. Otherwise, retirement may end up being the most natural choice. The emotional aspect also plays a role. After everything he's built in the NFL, retiring now, after one of his best seasons, could be the perfect way to go out on top. Many players wait too long and end up leaving when they can no longer perform at a high level. Van Noy still has gas in the tank, but if he chooses to leave now, he'll be remembered as one of the great veterans who managed to shine until the end. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. And if this is indeed his farewell, the Ravens will feel the impact of his departure and will need to find a solution for the pass rush. Does the team already have a worthy replacement, or will they need to reinforce this position in the market? With or without Van Noy, the Ravens need to think about the future of their pass rush. The defense was one of the best in the NFL in 2023, but much of that success came from his production and the contributions of other veterans. If he decides to retire or the team goes another route, the pressure will fall on the young players and the front office to maintain this unit at a high level. Baltimore has always been a team that values defense, and finding a new leader for the position will be crucial to staying competitive. The team has some promising pieces, but none with the immediate impact that Van Noy brought. Odafe Oweh and David Ojabo are talented prospects, but they have yet to show the consistency needed to take on a starring role. In addition, the team may look for reinforcements in the draft or free agency to ensure that the defense remains a dominant force. An experienced name might be needed to maintain the balance between youth and experience in the group. Whatever Van Noy's decision is, the Ravens will need to act quickly. The pass rusher market is always competitive, and wasting time could mean missing out on good options to bolster the roster. The last thing Baltimore can afford is for a defense that was so dominant in 2023 to take a step back due to poor planning. If Van Noy returns, great. If not, the front office will need to have a worthy answer. Now, the big question is, what will Van Noy decide? And regardless of his decision, are the Ravens ready for the future without him? Kyle Van Noy has been one of the standout players on the Ravens defense, but now he's at a crucial moment. Continue playing or hang up his cleats. At 35, he still has plenty to offer, but the decision isn't only up to him. With one more year left on his contract, will the franchise want to renew him or look for alternatives? If he stays, the Ravens keep a key piece of their defense, but if he leaves, the team will need to find a quick solution to not lose strength in the pass rush. The uncertainty is in the air, and this choice could directly affect the team's performance next season. What do you think? Should Van Noy stay in Baltimore, or is it time to look for a new name for position? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any updates on the Ravens.